Well, that looks pretty good. Well, that looks pretty good. Well, apparently, the government phone has a governor on it that's linked to YouTube. Because when I do it on YouTube, it cuts out. Man, I'm over my 5 gigs, but apparently this works. So I've been doing a lot of videos with AI, and right now I'm limited on my internet connection, and I can't run AI in the background. And I have all my AIs on this phone and not on my other one. I guess I could use Grok on the other one. So seeing that I know that this works, I could Bluetooth it from that phone to the other one, and I could do an AI video, which makes it a lot easier for me. When the phone gets up to 4 gigs or whatever, it goes on to a new video, and it just ruins the whole flow of everything. And then having to piece it back together. So save humanity, a quote by Elon. And the other videos one of the other videos is up. I got so many videos, I'm out of space on my computer. But to look at the homeless, and we're gonna say 800,000, just look at that. Look at that, see it, and wonder, why would anybody claim save humanity and not save that? It doesn't make any sense, does it? You go up and save astronauts that are stuck out in space, but not the homeless. Makes zero sense. And the other video outlines that. I'm gonna grab some coffee. I'm really surprised that this actually worked. Well, seeing that it works, I really want to go grab that phone and throw Grok on it, or Gemini. It's kind of nice that it works. Wish I had a following though, but oh well. Not really for popularity, I'll tell you. My track record shows that. I'm about as real as you can get. I think I deviated maybe a few times. Not by much though. It was all for the cause though, but it just didn't feel right. Hey, I'm gonna make baked goods. Oh fuck, there's so much GMO. How the fuck am I gonna make this and sleep at night? Just didn't feel right. Well, at least we know this works, but without the AI, I feel naked, just for the simple fact that it makes it easier for people to go, well, is that true? Is he fucking crazy? And then you'd be like, no, you can just ask AI, or ask AI and then go research it, double check it. $800,000. See, I was going to go over the numbers on like what Mr. Beast gets for a hit on his videos. Now just think, if someone did a live on that and did the same thing, but say, hey, you got $1? Can you throw in $1? Just start out with $1. I mean, some of those are, 50 million views. Just think if you got $1 for all of them, that's $50 million. Come on now. You could chunk up homeless in probably less than 24 hours, I bet. I would make it 6 months long. The same distances it would be for putting up the buildings. People would go nuts over that. At least I think they would. I mean, hey, look at it this way. You got 800,000 homeless people. Pretty much, I believe that that's created by the government. I can debate you on that, debate Grok on that, any kind of AI. I'll debate your AI if you want. That'd be fun. Is your AI for humanity? I don't know. Step one, ask it if it knows that cell phones are safe for kids, and then listen to what it tells you. And that should give you a clue on how AI is going to interact with your child from here on through. And then whatever it tells you, just say, well, what about environmental health trust? And then see what it says. And then say, why did you lie to me? That's the overall theme of all my videos. You're like, why? Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Really? A mistake cost my child a whole lot of damage. Well, let's see how well this thing is actually going. I'm really surprised. It's actually going. I'm really surprised. Holy shit, we got some internet going on. Now I gotta rethink my whole life now. I don't even know what I'm gonna even do. It'd be nice to have interaction with other people, but I don't know. Every time I make a video, I'm always thinking, how can I leave this with no rebuttal? Nothing to say. It's either, the only comments I get are either on my hair, or not really my hair. They're like, what hair? But my teeth or whatever, and that's about it. They're like, really? That's all you got? You're gonna make fun of me? That's all you got? Oh, come on. Can you participate in the conversation? I mean, it only affects you and your child and your future child, but I mean, you want to be a dick about it. I understand, because you're being manipulated by a bunch of shit. I get that. I understand that. So come at me all you want. I get it. Material things just don't agree with me anymore. I could care less about it. Well, I care about it. I care about on how it affects you and your children. And what it affects is the planet. And you need that for your babies. They like to cloud that shit up real good. No. You need a career. You need a career to take care of your family. No. That's not true. No. Non-contact tribes. No career. None. Millions of them. Career ends up getting you in the rear. Philosophy for you. I'm going to go to work for 8 hours, 12 hours a day, 40 hours a week, just destroying the place that my baby needs. Does that make any sense? I mean, even just in your own mind, with your own job, and the things that you know that you throw out on a daily basis. How's that feel? Don't let that shit make you feel bad, because it's not your fault. Program. Since before birth. Yeah, before birth. Mom and dad rolling around, just getting pounded by fucking chemicals and dirty electricity and Wi-Fi and everything else, and then you came into the world. Yeah. And it's growing. Welcome to AI in the classroom. There's a big conflict of interest there. You got Mr. Kennedy over here on one side, which good for you. Hey, I'm going to look into 5G. I'm going to look at all the damaging effects. On this side, you got Donald Trump's wife saying, hey, AI in the classroom. Don't fear it. Wait a minute. That AI robot means 5G, and he's saying 5G he's going to look into. Why are you doing that? right after he just announced that he's going to look into it. And we're saying he's going to look into it. It's already been done. The $30 million toxicology report is there for you to read. But you're going to get a lot of mixed signals over there. So go over Environmental Health Trust, and they get to shine the light on all the little hidden stuff, like the constant looping between the telecom industry and the FCC. Yeah, just a conflict of interest that shouldn't be allowed. Be like, Paul, you're going to go over there? Make sure you pass this, this, and this. Yeah. All it takes is a meter. It's all it takes. Shut me up. You just fucking show me your meter at your school and show me the number. And I'll say, yeah, what the fuck's up with that? Well over the fucking safety guideline. Damaging effects to your children. Look at the history of the United States and its civilians on the damaging effects that they have caused in the past. Do you think this is any different? Could you logically think that this one they got right, even though they lost in court already? But this one, they're right on. Even though they lost in court, FCC lost in court with the Environmental Health Trust. And they pointed out they didn't look at the vulnerability of children and pregnant women. I mean, for something that's right there, just type in environmentalhealthtrust.org. You can see the transcript for the courtroom hearing. You can hear all that. Real as can be. You can go and see the Chicago Tribune on the cell phone tests that they did at RF exposure labs. 3, 5, and 7 times over the 1996 safety guidelines. And the rats got 4 kilograms. And with 2 phones for a child, if you pick one of those off that list, you're way over what the rats got. And what did the rats get? Well, rats and monkeys, well, they got blasted with so much microwaves, they couldn't push a food lever that they were trained to, even though they were starving. Like that. That's my mouse and monkey. Like the hitting a taskbar. They're all singing, rock the taskbar, lock the taskbar. But with all that microwaves, they were like, I'm starving, but fuck that button. Yeah. And they said, whoa, this probably is dangerous. Thermal effects only heat. That's all we're looking at. We ain't looking at anything else. Damaging effects, we ain't looking at any of that. Just the heat. For 6 minutes worth of warming. That was the safety measure. But with the 4 kilograms, they were like, or 4 watts per kilogram. They said, you know what? We're going to divide that by 50 for the general public, and we're going to divide it by 10 for workers. So if you're electric sensitive, you're going to get an extra blast. Or maybe you're not electric sensitive yet, but you're going to get an extra blast. Does that even sound like science at all? Not going to look at anything else. Going to blast you with microwaves to the point where you can't push a food lever even though you're starving. Cut it by 50. And here's the fact for you. Over at Environmental Health Trust, the president over there, when you look at chemicals, they have a minimum factor of 1,000. I'd have to check her quote again. It's been a lot of videos. But yeah, chemicals, a minimum of 1,000. That's what they usually for safety. There's 50. That's pretty weird. So we're looking at that framework 30 years ago. And then that gets used to get our 1996 safety guidelines that me and you are using right now. Even this phone, which I should have a conversion thing on it. You can buy an adapter for your phone, which will plug right into your router. And then you have to shut off your Wi-Fi router if it's on there. Environmental Health Trust has some tips and tricks on how to do that. But you could just purchase a non-wire or Wi-Fi router or whatever. So you got all that. You got people who state, well, it's this non-ionizing radiation. Come on now. If you're saying that, ask yourself this truthfully. Do you really know? How much are you a radiologist? No, you're probably not. But you can go hear a radiologist over at Environmental Health Trust. And you figure if a radiologist is saying this and other radiologists are watching, other radiologists would say, you're full of shit. But you don't see that because he's not. So go listen to the 7-minute facts on radiation. It safeguards you and your family and your friends, so why wouldn't you? And you get to be a smart ass then after that. Be like, no, radiation does some shit. And let's just keep it in focus. It's all about the pulsated microwaves. That's what does the real damage. In Russia, they have all the research work on that. Imagine that. And then you could go deeper and see the evolution of how we got the cell phone. That should be alarming right there. It was all by accident. There's a couple versions. One was a cup of coffee. The other one's a chocolate bar. But yeah, the radio handlers figured out that, hey, if I keep my coffee close here, it keeps my coffee warm. And that's how you got the microwave oven. The other one is chocolate bar, and their chocolate bars were melting when they were close to the receivers. That's pretty alarming. Then we tie that into everything with Dr. Magda Havas and Samuel Milham, the author of Dirty Electricity, the electrification and disease and how they correlated together as we got electrification. So, is there merit to all this? Well, sure. You got a meter that you can buy, rent, or even hire a company, buildingbiologist.institution.org. You can go over there. You can go over to EMF specialist. It takes a little bit of time to maneuver around it. You could just call them or whatever, but you get all that all put together, and you start scrolling down, and you can see who's available in your town, city. So you got people who say doom things, but they don't give you any solutions. So you have solutions something. Safe living technology. No solution in there. But safe living technology, they're going to have your shielding bed canopies. You double your healing at night as long as you hit REM state. This would be a good one. You put it up. You can put your phone in there, turn it on, and see that it's blocking it all. And it does a pretty good job. You also have a thing called a Safe and Sound Pro meter, about $849. It's third-party tested, and it's equipped for 5G. So you got some things. And then they have other things too, like a lot of money, but it helps. Now, the only thing with doing it yourself is you're going to run into a problem if you don't understand reflection, metal, if you don't know how to use the meter correctly, doing a figure 8 to get a good reading. And you can create more problems if you do it incorrectly. It's like running out and going and buying a grounding mat because you've seen something on grounding. The grounding documentary is a really good one. You have to incorporate Sam's Dirty Electricity because you could be plugging in to a house that's filled with dirty electricity, and having that run through your body is going to have a negative effect. You'll feel like you're going to be up all night. Well, I just got a notification for my data, so I'm thinking This will probably be the last one. I don't think it's going to let me go back on again. Well, the numbers are pretty good, but they're just numbers with the names on it. It doesn't make any sense. $10 billion. That's what they spend throughout the United States on homelessness, and it's still going up. You split that down, like if they said, hey, we're going to allocate all that spending that we do every year, we're going to allocate that to all the homeless and give them a check, a UBI, so they can rest. They shouldn't have to work. They should just sit there and rest and do what they need to do. We'll work on that later. But working is not one of them at all. Zero. They have been working since the day that they were homeless. And it's not their fault. So if you did that for the 800,000, you're looking at about $12,500 for each person. You divide that by 12 months, you're looking at $1,041. You throw on 30% on top of that, or times it by 30%, you're looking at $312. So $312 is allocated for rent. HUD program is usually 30% of your income, no more, no less. That's what it is. Well, actually, it can be less. So $312 times 12 months, $3,744. Taken off at that $12,500, you're looking at $8,756. Divide that by 12 months, you're looking at $729. You divide that by 30 days, that's $24.30 per day. And you got homeless done. Over. Everybody's got a place to live. And it's over. Because it's like 780,000 and I go 800,000. Completely gone. Eliminated. I emphasized this a couple times in the video, but I'll close it out with a little bit more on the big picture. So you spend all that money year after year and you don't really get nothing in return. You get more fraud or whatever else, or people not doing their job or stealing money in a different form or fashion or whatever. But you take that 10 billion and you sign it into law that you're going to allocate it for a UBI. You eliminate that off the street. You give them homes. HUD program, I already worked it out with the HUD program because you're looking at 800,000 times the HUD program voucher of $1,200. You're looking at billions per year. And taking out for workers, which is 19,000 workers for all 4,000 units at $250 per unit, you're looking at 10.5 billion left over. So eventually this thing would run itself. 10.5 billion, and we did it with 10 billion. So in all, it can fund itself after it's built. And for the loan value and everything else, with that 800,000 people, if you make them, not make them, but if you get them to sign a year contract for a HUD home, you could go to the bank and they'll give you 6 months of that on paper probably, or more, depending on your name. So they've really got no excuse on putting it all together. I mean, even if you did it at the net of just minusing off the workers of 10.5 billion, you're going to get 5 billion from that bank, guaranteed. If you've got a government signed contract for 5, 10, 20 years for a HUD program, they're probably going to give it to you. So, Save Humanity, quote by Elon. So you got Elon, he's got plenty of money. Mr. Beast, Dana White, Joe Rogan, all the rich people could come together over a simple post. Hey, we're going to end homelessness. Who wants to join it? Mark Cuban, this person, that person, whoever could all come together and do this and still turn a profit or break even, and then free it up and make it a nonprofit, and it'll just run itself. 800,000 strong. Not good enough? Well, it was tailor-made for either Elon or Jeff. So you guys are both making rockets. You both want to get to somewhere else, the moon, Mars, or wherever. You got to build colonies there. So why not do it here, but do them here as HUD homes, modular, so you can use them later as a Mars colony container. Instead of bringing it up there, you bring it down into the Earth as a backup plan for the human race. Make your spaceship down there without an engine until you feel confident that this is the engine that I want to use. Slap it in the spaceship that you're building in the Earth that holds people down in it to work out the kinks. Seems like a pretty good idea, right? And you could make it like a game. You can make it like Starship Academy. You could take those HUD homes that have been riding for 5-10 years, take them in. They'd have to be probably smaller, but take them in, refit them for Earth or for Mars atmosphere. You got a lot of radiation to block. You might as well get it all done while you can here and test it. Throw them in the ground and make them so they connect all together. So now you got a big giant ship down in the Earth, and then you can somehow protect it and shield it from the top. Go down about a mile deep. You're going to have some heat to deal with. You might be able to even go deeper, 5 miles, and the heat gets pretty crazy. But you could probably figure that out, so it could be shielded. Now, with this all being said, you have a double backup plan now. Rocket to send people to Mars or to the moon or wherever. And then you have a spaceship that's laid deep into the Earth. And then you could safeguard it, mile deep, and then safeguard it up top for impact from whatever. And it can function down there as a living unit, kind of like an atrium. So with the 2-hour video, I have planned out a scenario where you grow enough plants for that one person to breathe, which is about 500 plants. You could work this out here instead of having to guess and do it up there, or bring your data and still have to work on doing it there. How are you going to work up there? You have to bring something that's going to shield you from all that microwaves. The damaging effects of those microwaves are catastrophic. According to Dr. Barry Trower, it damages the DNA until the lineage is no more. We will die off there if we don't have radiation protection. Won't see it right away, but anyways, if you do it here in the ground, you've got a solid backup plan, a life support system that will not fail. That's what you need. You need one that it doesn't have any working parts. It just doesn't go offline. Lights and water. Lights, water, and temperature. Lights, water, temperature, humidity. We could all be working on that right now. So, saving humanity. You figured that would start with the homeless. Let's see if you can knock that out. That's 800,000, and you want to do millions of people. Why don't we start with that? Let's see if we can shelter 800,000 people. They ain't doing nothing, but they could be your data for your Mars program. And why wouldn't you want to give them a UBI? You figure if you posted this out that you were going to make some HUD buildings that were modular and eventually would be turned into shelters that will go down on the ground and people could purchase, staying there for a week or a month or whatever, you could definitely turn around and make a big income. And I didn't even elaborate on the other things that would incorporate this so it's a win-win. They all have $729 worth of spending money. You could give them a better deal and have storefronts already in the building or around the building or whatever. I don't know how HUD works with that. I know there's some restrictions where you can get away with it, but you put in places that they would need, top of the line, non-GMO food, super clean water, distilled, 0 parts per million. You want to wean them off of pretty much every chemical known to man. Removing of the wheat would be crucial. It's a chemically altered wheat, has effects on the opiate receptors, causes appetite stimulation or rapid thought. It improved mental patients, schizophrenic patients, when it was removed from their diet. Instead of having them travel around, you put in a doctor there to take care of all their needs as they move in. You want to take care of everything from Lyme disease, the STDs, you name it. And look at what your outcome is. They will be talking about this for the rest of their life. Their children will be talking about this for the rest of their lives, on how this man helped and saved us from living outside. And for a president to sit here and watch this grow year after year is just alarming. Look on how much he's spending on his ballroom. Now, it says that, according to AI, it says that that's being covered by private donations. But the other half is the upgrades for security is going to be $1 billion. That lets it sink in. With doing this, you eliminate fraud. Taking that $10 billion that's spent on the homeless across the United States, just giving them that money closes out fraud. There's no more homeless. There's no need for any program. You're doing 800,000, well over the 770,000 homeless that's record right now. You're over that, so the services will no longer be needed. You bring them into this HUD program and you make a new stipulation where they just pay up their rent for the whole year. Knock that right out of the park. Here you're gonna get this $1,041, but we're gonna pull out the whole $3,744 for rent. Your rent's safe. There you go. You get any problems and you get kicked out or whatever, you'll get your remaining back. But that's just taken care of. That way, the homeless is completely secured for 1 year, and hopefully they'll keep it, not screw it up. So everything else that every negative comment or whatever, or scenario, it can all be taken care of real easy. It really can. Oh, you got a drug problem? Not really. Any kind of drug that's out there, prescription, all of them have a dangerous side effect, and it also has a thing of tapering off. And that's what all the doctors will suggest on any kind of drug that's highly addictive, is tapering off. So we know that. So the best way to do it is to clean it up. Whatever they're on, there would have to be an allocation for a signing of a waiver of using illegal drugs for this program. It would work out much better because you would have a test market on how well it works. So whatever they're on, give them the cleanest version of that and pull them off, weaning them off, scheduled. Hey, you get X amount per day. Here you go. I want to watch you take it. See you tomorrow. And then 2-week tapers. You can ask AI on what the proper taper is for opiates or whatever. I was on opiate pills I was on pain medication, and I tapered myself off after trying to cut myself cold turkey and ended up with withdrawal symptoms that were unbelievably horrible. Now I really want to grab that AI.